I'm Mike Bradner, and this is Capital Views, and we have with us today Tim Parker, who is Executive Director of the...
President.
Yes, or you're the President,
I'm
actually.
the President,
okay,
yeah.
of NEA-Alaska, which
Yeah.
is the teachers' union,
Yep.
plus a lot of other things.
Yep.
So welcome, Tim, and
Thanks.
And tell us about yourself and...
Sure, I'm a teacher from Fairbanks. That's what I've done for the majority of my career, and I was elected president in 2016, and you can do it up to 4 years, so I'll be back in a classroom in Fairbanks at the end of this year. I love teaching. I'm a secondary English teacher, taught at Lathrop High School forever, journalism, English. Those are my favorite subjects. But the thing that I like most, and I think that most teachers are most interested in, is student learning. We think about it all the time. It's almost like it's with us. We can't let it go. And so every day, after every classroom, you're thinking to yourself, how much student learning happened? So you're walking out of the class and you're thinking, you know, was this a particularly good day? You're turning off the lights and walking out. And if it is, you're on cloud 9. And if you have one of those days that you just go, wow, everything I thought was going to work didn't work today, you spend the rest of the night trying to figure out how the next day you're going to okay, I think I can do this one. So that's the passion. That's what we bring. That's our why. We love it when student learning happens, when it shoots through the roof. That's our main goal. So that's what I love.
And you have to have an organization like NEA because, well, I mean, education spending is a large amount wages.
Yeah.
And wages for all kinds of different staff. Mm-hmm. So, you know, naturally, it's going to be tough to get increases.
It is. Of course, you know, bargaining is a big part of what we do. But attracting and retaining high-quality educators, that's the concern that we seem to be hitting our heads against. We've always had a little bit of an issue in Alaska. We don't have as many teachers go through our university program as other states, so we have to attract a lot of people from outside to come up here. That's always the way it's been. But what's happened recently is the turnover rates are starting to climb, and they're climbing at the same time that the actual number of teachers coming out of programs in the lower 48 is going down. So we're finding ourselves in a real competitive bind. And on top of that, our retirement system in 2006 changed, and that change to a defined contribution only for new hires after that time period is a major, major deal. I mean, we're the only, well, let me put it this way, there's 15 states for teachers and educators that don't have Social Security, but we're the only ones that then added the second element and said, now we're just going to put you in a defined contribution only, essentially a savings account. So our teachers, new hired after 2006, which is more than half the teachers in the state, they have nicknamed it the death tier. And they talk about how it just isn't going to work. In fact, the Alaska Chief Pension Officer said that if you teach a 30-plus year career in Alaska, you have a 70% chance of running out of money before you die. There's no safety net. And as our younger teachers start to climb closer and closer to that, they're looking at the opportunity to leave.
They may not even have their spouses.
That's right.
Net.
Yeah.
I mean, the windfall.
You're right.
profit.
Yes, in addition, there's a federal penalty, GPO, Government Pension Offset Windfall Elimination provision, that even if you happen to have some Social Security from a previously earned job, that would disappear, and your spouse's, your ability for your spouse to access yours also disappears. So it creates a really unique problem. We have a couple ideas that we've been talking about in the legislature for a couple years. One is a hybrid plan. We think it's a really good plan. It's something that would both balance the unfunded liability concerns that the state has and still has, as well as the security concerns that teachers have, and that they could very easily outlive their income. So a hybrid plan would pull the two of those together. We've put together one that is cost neutral, doesn't cost the state any more money, and would save districts money.
Is this something where teachers hire in and then they sort of discover the negative environment of the pension and go seeking a job elsewhere?
Yeah, and it's almost like there's an incentive to leave, which is really scary. So after 5 years, you're fully vested in the new retirement system after 2006, and you can take all of your money and all the money the state's put in. And it's a savings account. It's being invested in some ways. You have some choices in that. Yeah. But it's almost an incentive to leave. It's almost like we're pushing them out the door and saying, thanks for your service here, but we wouldn't want you to stay. That turnover issue, I mentioned that turnover keeps rising. Last year there was a report that it was 22% in the state, in the urban areas, and up to 36% in rural areas. And of course it's expensive to go hire other teachers from other places. It costs upwards of $20,000 to go to the lower 48 and try to recruit and bring somebody up here each time. But I think the real cost is the harm that it does to the students. The students are sitting there in their classrooms, and especially in our rural areas where turnover is even higher, they look at their teacher every year and they say, will you be back? And that lack of relationship really hurts the amount of learning that can go on in the classroom. That's a cost that's hard to measure, but it really hurts.
Tim, I can sense your passion. And we are out of time.
Yeah.
And I'm Mike Bradner, this is Capital Views, and we're talking to Tim Parker, who is the head of NEA-Alaska. So Tim, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.